She's texting me.
Push notifications should be going out. And going live.
Oh, you know. Are we good? Good to go. Hey, everyone, and welcome to Curious Business. It is purposefully smoky in here. We are waiting on one of our guests to be able to push everything live through the camera. And she is coming back. She's restarting her computer, so do not worry. Just want to bring up Hi Curious on my computer. So if you want to be following along on the chat, you'll be able to follow along on Hi Curious. We will also be live on on LinkedIn and YouTube, and we can also drop those links into the chat in both places, Amanda, when you get a chance. And looking good. So I'm just trying to make sure that I can see the chat on my end, because I just feel like that is not clear to me yet. So, okay. Welcome. This is great. And even though we're on radio right now, and Amanda, you'll tell us when we are not. But let's get started with introductions. All right. This, for me, is actually fun that you guys can't see the slides until like after, because now you won't be able to like laugh about how I introduced you. Because I'm not your like typical introducer where I'm like gonna read off all your credentials and stuff. I'm gonna just like kind of talk about how I met you and how I know you. So I was gonna go in order of oh, she's coming back. But I'm gonna let Brett go first anyway, because she's gotta get it together. So Brett Puffenbarger. Is it Barger or Barger?
Barger.
Brett Puffenbarger is the CEO and co-founder of Good Ideas, and I am calling him the undisputed prince of LinkedIn.
Oh.
So, I mean, I was gonna go with king, but I felt like considering the cannabis, I feel like you're the prince of cannabis, like LinkedIn. And maybe like Kristen is either the princess or the queen, but I just really didn't feel like, you know, I could say of LinkedIn, I could say of cannabis LinkedIn. So the king of cannabis LinkedIn. Also a trusted advisor and an industry insider and a marketing expert. Newly a beard bro. And with that, I'm excited to have you here, and I'd love you to introduce yourself and talk about, you know, why you're here today, what you're excited to take away from today, and of course your theme song.
Oh, let me start with theme song, because that's more fun than everything else. I have the least stonery theme song ever. It would be Stick Tight by a band called Terror from Southern California. And if anybody puts that on, it's going to be loud and abrasive to everyone who listens to it, because I'm that guy. I also definitely don't think I'm the king of cannabis LinkedIn. I'm going to have to give that credit to Matthew O'Brien, because I think he crushes my metrics by about 20%. And then it's probably me, and then probably Kristen, and then probably everybody else. But, you know, whatever. I actually got in trouble in that for LinkedIn today. Somebody put up a thing and it was like, what is your most viewed LinkedIn post of the year and what are your views? And the guy deleted my comments and was like, I got hate messages because you were flexing your numbers, bro. I deleted it. And I was like, but I was just trying to participate. Like, I'm just hanging out. I'm like super nice and jovial and there's no need to get upset. Like, I'm just a guy who talks shit all day on the internet and people somehow think I'm good at my job. I don't know. So yeah, that's now everybody's got an introduction to me as a person. What else you want to know?
Well, I think that was great. I think also the people want to know your takeaway from your first California cannabis show that you just came back from?
Oh man, what a whirlwind adventure. So we did 2 days of Hall of Flowers plus 6 after parties, a road trip to LA, a stop at the highly capitalized studio, a road trip to Santa Rosa, 2 days of Emerald Cup, and then a trip back to Sacramento to fly home. And I never realized how different NorCal and SoCal are. Like, I've worked with people from both. I understand the differences in culture, but I didn't understand the physical differences as much, like the legitimate, like tangible differences outside of just like, oh, the people look different, right? I would say that Hall of Flowers is more my speed as an industry person, but Emerald Cup is more my speed as a consumer. And I think my big takeaway is I've run with the tagline of bridging the gap from bong to boardroom, and this was really my opportunity to spend more time with the bong than the boardroom, because I spend most of my days on the other side of the equation. And it was fucking cool, right? Like, it was crazy. I saw 70% of California, a huge road trip, 3 major cities. I don't know. I couldn't have asked for a more entertaining experience for 6 days. Though I am way behind on client deliverables, and I feel terrible about it.
It's the holidays, So, Amanda, how are we doing? We almost there?
I just have to get Justin and Jessi, and then we're rocking. I'm almost there, guys.
So let us introduce the next woman. She really needs no introduction. However, of course, we're going to. So Kristen for the longest of anyone on the screen here, including my team. I met Kristen, of course, on LinkedIn, but also because she was posting about her podcast, but also wanting to do some voiceover work, and my husband had done some voiceover work and helped people with that. And so I just tagged my husband in. And then my husband produced the Cannabis Detector's first season, and made a jingle, like he just figured it out and did it together, and it was pretty epic. And that's how I became Auntie Lauren, because Kristen started calling Barry Uncle Barry, and basically it was mostly because whenever I would, like, if I would talk about my husband in any sort of sexual way, Kristen would say, "Please do not say that to me, because that's like talking about my uncle." So that's basically, in case you wondered how I became Auntie Lauren, that's actually how it happened. So,
TMI.
Okay, so she is, I know, right? So she's a California cannabis OG. She hates tea and is a vegetarian, but mostly also likes, like, and eats a lot of vegetables. That's not it. It's just like she doesn't eat meat. She is obsessed with homes.
Oh, wait.
And you're ready?
Let's go video here. Let's get you guys in.
No.
All right?
Video.
All right, here we go, guys. Sorry about the delay, and here is your crew. Bam, there they are.
Awesome. All right, Amanda, I might need help with the chat because I'm having trouble being able to see. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll be able to go on my phone. Okay. Okay, here we are. It looks so good. Can you guys all see how good it looks? It's very meta, but
Looks great.
all right. So the chat's there. The deck is there. All right, Amanda. So let's go back to the slide where we're talking about Kristen.
All right.
Where are you looking?
If you go on the app or on the live stream,
okay.
okay,
got it.
So Yoder, the Cynical Stoner, and also the Cannabis Detector. Cynical Stoner is new for her. She's a California cannabis OG. She hates tea, and she's a vegetarian. She's obsessed with big trichomes, and she was talking about terps before you were born. And I mean, that's not really true, but 4 years ago, Kristen was like, indica sativa is bullshit. And I mean, and you know, and try, and where it is going is terps, and like she's still upstream on that, and that's one of the reasons why I respect her so much. So, Kristen, the floor is yours.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Just kidding. So, oh, look at all the people. Hey, people. Okay, so, what is my favorite song? Like, did people catch Brett's favorite song? Do they know we're doing favorite songs? Because, as I was saying earlier, like, it turns out my song is, like, some whipped dude singing about, like, some love he's not gonna get, and, like, that's legit not me. So, I chose this song that, like, I need to be hyped up. I'm not a fucking hyped up person at all. Hello, cynical stoner, right? So I chose this song by, oh dude, I had it up and then I put it away. He's like, smile bitch, that song. Anyways, I'll find it while I'm talking. Was there a question? Am I supposed to be saying something? By the way, cynical stoner shirt right here. See? and also I would like to, yeah, exactly. Okay, see that? Okay. Anyways, I'm done.
So that's what you were supposed to do during this time. You were supposed to talk about yourself and tell us what your song is, as well as, so you did great. You understood the assignment.
Lil Duval. Okay, Lil Duval. Look it up, dude. It's like, it's so my song, but then they say the N-word a lot. So I have replaced it with Ninja, and I'm like legit not sure if that's PC either, but I try. Anyways, next question.
All right, we're going to go back to Brett. Actually, ask you a question, because Brett did talk about this before. You know, I asked him specific questions. I want to ask you a question. And it is about, like, how does it feel to be a brand now that you know, and how has that changed your perspective on marketing? And that's the reason why I'm asking you that question, is because I feel like you'll be able to help us as we're talking about the other topics that are coming up.
Yeah, oh my God, it's so relieving to have a tangible product to sell besides my value and intelligence, because, like, honestly, if you don't get it, like, fuck you. And that's not a really good, like, attitude for a consultant, advisor, whatever. So, like, I just started this brand as a passive revenue, and then it became, like, really popular, and then I was like, oh shit, maybe this is, like, a legit revenue, and then it became not passive at this point because I'm building it, but it's so much better than having to sell myself, because I'm not like that. It makes me feel gross. Like, I mean, like I said, if you don't understand my value after 16 years and, like, a long reputation that is, like, solid with everyone, like, if you don't get it, then fuck you. Like, now I don't have to ever do that again. It's just like, and not only that, from, like, an education standpoint, you said 4 years. It's been 5 years that I've been teaching terpene classes, and it started off as, like, an intro to terpenes, and then it, like, blended into how to spot bullshit in cannabis marketing. Because honestly, like, terpenes have medical values, but not when you fucking smoke them in weed. Like, that, like, come on, guys. So the point is now I can do, like, a guerrilla education campaign on people's chests. And that's dope. Like, they pay to, like, help educate people by wearing statements. Like, they're not, like, sayings, they're fucking statements, and they're there to have conversations with people. Like, I don't know how else we're gonna get anywhere in this industry if we're not, like, forcing people to face what needs to be faced. And who knew? Like, all I had to do was put it on, like, a soft t-shirt or a hoodie, and, like, that's it. Like, who knew? So cool. So yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Kristen. So I do want to go back to Brett so that we have video as well. So, you know, because it's not really, we just don't want to leave you out, Brett, especially because you have your shirt Is this a shirt that you guys created?
Yeah, we've got 4 of them in 4 different color palettes at beardbrosfarms.com/store. We've got plants over pills, character over clout, craft over corporate, and patience before profit. In black or
I love that. I think I want. What was the third one?
craft over corporate.
Craft over corporate sounds exactly perfect for me, especially living here in Colorado. So Brett,
I'm actually glad I didn't wear my Kristen shirt because I had the same shirt you're wearing on earlier, and I switched to this one because I assumed one of you guys would be wearing that one.
Yeah, well, this is the only one I have so far, but I'm ready to invest in a hoodie, I think, for sure. So,
Are you
all
gonna
right,
get the one that says skip the sales results and show me or skip the sales pitch and show me the test results? Because that's my next purchase.
I think mine's gonna probably be like my life savings in cannabis, and all I have is this lousy sweatshirt and a lot
shit
of
ton of
lanyards.
That, like that's a bestseller as well, which is sad. But like you guys, this is why I love having a brand. Like this is so dope. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself.
I've got all my lanyards and wristbands directly behind the computer, just so everybody knows. It's like
I just want to say, find a way. Fuck that shit. Nope, garbage. Because I used to collect them in like the PR world, and I had like the backstage pass from the Emmys and like la la la. And then I was like, you know what? This is all garbage. It is literally all garbage. I'm throwing it all away. So I
But the more weed you smoke, the less memories you may find you have in the future. So I suggest that you adopt this stoner ritual of collecting boxes to put things in, and then put your shit in that and keep it. Because I swear to God, bro, like I got 20 years of weed on you. You will forget. It will fade. It happens.
That's my box.
Okay, I'm done.
I'm trying to declutter my life, Marie Kondo shit. But anyway, all right. So Brett Puffenbarger, the CEO and co-founder of Good Ideas. I think now we're saying he is the undisputed prince of LinkedIn because someone else is the king and you're the prince.
Matthew O'Brien is definitely probably crushing the LinkedIn metrics above anybody else.
Well, personally, I'm a gut girl. And my feeling is he might be crushing on the metrics, but you're crushing on the empathy and the emotion. And that's where that's going to last long term. So that's why I heart you. He's a trusted advisor, an industry insider, especially now as a beard bro, and a marketing expert. Like I respect Brett so much because he and I understand the ugliness that is public relations, and Brett goes a step further to know what the ugliness of public relations in corporate cannabis is. And it's just been amazing getting to know you and learn from you. And thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks. Should I tell everybody
Awesome.
my song pick?
Yeah, your song pick for sure.
Stick Tight by Terror. And if anybody is silly enough to put it on, you will realize that I listen to things that sound like garbage cans falling down the stairs on purpose.
All right, we're moving on. On that one. All right. Johnson. By the way, Justin, handle Just Another Johnson is probably right there. You just fall in love with you, and it says so much about you and like the person that you are. And I have learned so much in this short time that we've been like, basically I can text Justin at any time of day, weekend, night, and he will DM me about something, like some fucking crazy idea I have for a long ass time. And I appreciate that so much because, like you're like getting into it. And I just feel like he's been such a counselor and advisor to me in this short time. So thank you, Justin. And he just won his second Clio award. He prefers joints to bongs. So he is the founder of Chill Steel Pipes, co-founder. Is a business development pro who is working in a lot of deals right now, hot, and a giant marketing nerd. which is actually why I love him so much, because that's pretty much the stuff we talk about like late night is like, did you see this thing that they did? And isn't that cool? So it's nerd shit. So really appreciate that. So Justin, take it away. The floor is yours.
Yeah, definitely a nerd in many capacities. So yeah, I'll do a quick intro. I spent 15 years in advertising, and I'd say about a little more than half that was in the world of business development. And then another half of that was really in digital strategy. I, had the good fortune of kind of being in a creative industry and, at the rise of the Facebooks and the LinkedIns. It's kind of funny. I didn't really get into posting on LinkedIn probably until about a year ago, but I never had to find a job ever in my life because of LinkedIn. It came to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's because I was doing good things at work, but like I put it out there. But being able to come up in the age of social media, I mean, there's some like, deep rooted guilt that exists now, knowing how we used paid media to get people to buy chocolate milk and stuff. This is what Laura and I talk about is like, are we tapping into something better, and are we making sure that we're holding people accountable, because we've seen the ugly side of CPG and whatnot. But
I like on these late night talks, man. Like I'm getting left out of the fun group on that one.
Yeah. Well, so we have, and Laura and I have similar, and actually you with the Beard Bros, we have similar needs and concerns and issues, right? Like what does scale look like? How many page views do you have to get to, how's it going to translate to a business model that helps you make money? So media, tech related problems. Personally, when I launched BuzzFeed about 3 years ago. I started as a newsletter to like 100 people that I knew, and I didn't tell them it was me. I basically just signed everything JJ. And I looked at how many people in like my music industry background and advertising background kept reading it. And I retained about 80 of those first 100 people. And after that, I went forward and I spent some time in consumer tech, and there's a platform called producthunt.com out there. And it's where kind of like indie developers launch new software, right? And I was really inspired by that community, how it worked. The reality is that scale wasn't a super important part of it. Is more about commitment and like people that are there to share and discover cool new stuff. And so I wanted to build something that was the equivalent of the Product Hunt of cannabis. What that did for me, I guess over the last couple years is it really, one of those first 100 readers of my newsletter was actually the sister of my partner at Chill Steel Pipes. She reached out to me. She goes, my brother's a major housewares manufacturer. He's got a great idea for a bong. Would you want to talk to him? And it's like, hell yeah. And so, what's been really cool is the whole idea was always to celebrate makers and innovation. And, I have a good background in marketing, but I didn't want to just go in-house to one of the big MSO. Like that would have been easy. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of like if I really wanted to go that way. But I'm really glad that I went through the way of building community, because I feel like I've met the right people, and it's led to opportunities like Chill. Just to wrap it up here, what we're doing now with BuzzFeed is we're really trying to transform the foundation of it into an accelerator. Brands and products that are coming out, launching new things. If you need help with marketing, manufacturing, distribution, or in fundraising, if that's something that's needed, like that's what we're trying to help people with now, and really help take some of these, like this cottage industry of ancillary items that exists. And we're going to hear about another great one here soon. Like there's a lot of innovation that's happening, and we want to enable that and kind of support a new kind of wave of entrepreneurs. So that's my intro and my theme song. Total nerd answer, but Mastermind by Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
That's a good one.
Did I lull everyone to sleep? We good?
No, that was so great. Thank you, Justin. In fact, Cannabis Queen of Queens says such an awesome background story, Justin. And the chat is definitely going on. So thank you guys for participating. And that always makes it also fun. And if there's any questions for anybody as we go along, feel free to answer. Ask, and then we can answer. You can also answer. Okay, next up, I'm calling Jessi the wild card because Jessi I know is an OG. We've only known each other through other people. We were supposed to meet at BizCon Vegas, MJ, whatever that was, my nightmare from Vegas in November. And we've been trying to meet up and it still hasn't happened. So he is on this call. We've really never had a one-on-one. That's why I'm calling you the wild card, but I know you're dope and amazing. So welcome. Jessi Cox is the founder of Loving the Plant and also represents a lot of different smoke tech brands, I believe. I'm going to kind of let you do more of the description on that. Definitely an industry insider, dispensary marketing guru. I see that's really where you're leaning in right now. And I'm really excited about that for you and like for us. And a product ambassador, looking for more product ambassadors to inspire, as well as a badass woman with a pace to keep. Holy shit, I cannot keep up with you, woman. I mean, you're like Justin. I mean, Justin's like last night he's at this place in New York City, then like a week later he's there. He's always everywhere. Jessi too, always everywhere. It's very exhausting. Maybe I just feel old or something. Anyway, I will turn it over to you, Jessi, to introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you. No, that is so sweet. I'm sure everyone that knows me is laughing because I'm definitely a wild card. Every day is different. I actually designed my life that way. Loving the Plant is really created to accelerate cannabis brands that need a lot of attention and a lot of fanfare and a lot of education to really bridge the gap between the dispensary and purchase. And so I work with brands that are what I call seeker friendly. And seeker friendly brands are brands that are not technically smokable products. They're usually products that people who are coming into a dispensary might not be able to find if they don't go to the bud tender and ask for them because they're overwhelmed by all of the flower and different products, oil, cartridges, whatever there is. So what Loving the Plant does, we partner with businesses that need that extra step brand ambassadorship inside of the dispensary. And then we closely tie the demonstration with a partner, whoever we work with, whether it's a metric provider like Flocana or another data provider like Headset. We can look at what the sell-through is while we're at the dispensary to show what our units sold and how meaningful it was during the time that our reps are there offering brand support and demonstration. And so we found this to be a really exciting way to push new brands and also to educate new consumers and help them feel at home at the dispensaries and get to know the bud tenders, because a lot of our demonstration brand ambassadors, including myself, because I go and do it myself, we introduce people to the bud tenders. We ask, what's your favorite food? Like, we get to know the people so they feel at home. And I think that's really important for people in the 40+ age bracket. Going into a cannabis dispensary can be so overwhelming. And that's really what Loving the Plant provides. And right now, our two main clients, we do have actually quite a few clients in our portfolio, but we have two anchor clients. One is Omura, which is a flower vaporizer. And it's actually really amazing technology. It was designed by someone who worked for Lego for almost 20 years. And what I love the most about the Omura product is that it's really easy to use. You simply stick in the flower stick into the device and it automatically turns on. This is a competitor to a PAX flower vaporizer. But what I love the most about it is that you can easily pack it with your own flower and throw away the flower stick. And you can use an empty flower stick 1 to 2 times before you have to get rid of it. We do have a reusable flower stick in our pipeline of production, so that will be coming out later on in 2022 for people that are more sustainably driven. Another product that I'll just really quick talk about is Novium, which is actually a cannabis THC capsule. It's a 1-to-1, and I don't know if you guys can really see it, but these suckers are legitimately the best product that I have tried that's a consumption item. There's no sugar, there's no sodium. You can ingest it. What I like to do is, for example, anyone that has sleep problems, my gosh, anyone that has sleep problems will be able to like smoke their normal joints at night to help them relax. And I say pop a couple of our Novium PM, and those will actually help you sleep through the night. And I'm kid you not, I sleep until 6 p.m. I used to wake up at 3:30 a.m. like every morning and not be able to go back to sleep unless I smoked like and dabbed. But now, because of Novium, I sleep through the night. And if you try it in California, let me know, because we have some really cool swag to send you. And that's my pitch.
Great pitch. I freaking love it. And I'm so excited to try that device.
Where in California?
You can actually find Novium, go to our store locator, which is on noviumwellness.com, and you can locate any of the products. And Kristen, I can get you some samples actually. And anyone on the call that wants a sample on this call, I'll get you guys some influencer kits for the Omura X series, which is the best device if you're going anywhere and you're walking around and wanting to low key, medicate, but not have a smell or really alert anyone that you're vaping cannabis. It's great.
But it's flower, right?
Yes, you can.
It's so exciting to me.
In here. What's that?
Exciting to me
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that it's flour that you take. It's like a little straw, right? And you fill it up with your flour, and then you just burn that. I mean, to me, that's like, it's so perfect. It's like cigarette is without the combustion. So I'm really excited to try it because I haven't had a lot of success with herb vapes. So I'm really looking forward to that product.
The terpenes are really nice too on it.
Yes. Oh, the terpenes come out so much better with flower vaporization versus combustion. And you're not wasting any cannabis, because the second you light your cannabis bowl, and no offense, I love smoking out of a bowl. You guys see me doing everything. But the second you combust, you're starting to burn your weed. It's like blowing into the air. With cannabis vaporization, you literally can consume and enjoy all of your cannabis bud. I like to reserve, this is a little hippie, okay, but I like to keep a little jar, and I put my remnants into the jar, and then later on I add butter, and you can actually just kind of keep it in a slow cooker and then strain out the remnants. It's a long process. It takes a while because it's just a little bit.
I do that with my volcano too.
That's literally not hippie. That's smart. So
Charlie Brown's.
Yes.
You decarboxylate the THC.
Yes.
The THCA while you vape, and then boom, you have decarboxylate. Yeah.
Chris, I'm totally sending you one.
That's how our ancestors expected it to be. You use the whole plant.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So the reason why we asked for your addresses in that form that you guys all filled out, which makes me love you so much, is that we're gonna follow up with some gifts, as well as share the addresses with you guys if you want to share things with each other. So we will send an email with everybody, to everybody. All right, I think we need to skip the smoke break because we're already, of course, over. But we also, the whole crew can stay over. So we'll try to, we'll get through everything, but keep the conversation going because that's the best part. All right. All right, the first question is, well, actually, I didn't tell you guys what my song is. And my song is so cheesy, but I love it. And it gets me so hyped up. It's Butterfly by Crazy Town. So we all have these super weird, strange things that get us going. Because when I first started going live, I was so awkward. I mean, please do not ever show those videos to me, but you have to get good. You have to start something bad before you can get good at being on camera and stuff. And that's part of what building a personal brand actually is, a digital social media brand is. And so so we're gonna move into what our biggest mistake or lesson is,
I
right?
forgot to
And
say what my song was.
yes, your
Did.
song.
Oh my gosh. So it's Taylor Swift. I did something bad. That's my, if I'm nervous for a call, I put that on and then I'm like, okay, I'm centered now. I'm going into my meeting. So anytime you guys see
Amazing.
me nervous, I've been listening to Taylor Swift.
So for me, that's amazing.
Taylor Swift, if I was the man, that's my other go-to, for sure. For sure.
Man, 1,000%. If I'm in a mood,
Blaring it. Oh my God.
really
Yes.
bring me around.
Did we just
All
like
right.
have Lauren? Wow, I felt that.
I love that song. That's a team song. Our team will definitely like rock that one out on a dance break if we need to. All right. So the chat is very happy that everyone is smoking. Smoking is highly encouraged here on High Curious. No hiding. More like blow it out and enjoy. And the chat is, everybody's interested, and there's some questions coming up. But I want to start here with our first topic. Topic is, what is your biggest mistake or lesson from 2021? And bring this up to everybody as a mistake in marketing, and what they'll do differently in 2022. So it's not like I don't want to know, about all the stuff. I want to know specifically, what do you think? What you're like, fuck, I wish I didn't do that this year. Let's start with Justin.
Gotcha. Hi there, mute button. I think I did that too much in 2021. I just kept it on the mute button. No, honestly, 2021 was good. I felt like it was a great year for cannabis. I felt like, as somebody talking about cannabis a lot in the industry, like there was a lot of positive stuff to write about. I think the biggest lesson that I learned, is just that things take time to develop, and you ultimately just have to be out there and in it, like, constantly, to build awareness in this industry. I think it's very hard to compare to any other industry in the country that has scale. That's why I tend to lean on the ancillary side of things, because there is much more national scale there. But it's also harder to build a brand there, right? There's so much cheap glass and those types of things out there that, you're swimming in a sea of products even bigger than the cannabis market right now. And I think, patience is something I learned, because there's when you're dealing with a consumer product, there's a lot of setbacks, things that, that you have to deal with, supply chain issues, like real crazy, decisions that you have to make with significant amounts of money. And I think, having patience. But one thing I really learned is, like, I spent 3 years building a community without ever really even trying to monetize it outside of my consulting capability, right? And I think it'll pay dividends in terms of, when you try to launch your product, if you have a bunch of people that you've always engaged and had a good relationship with, they're going to give you honest feedback on how to approach building a product. And, they're going to support it if they're really behind it. And that's what I mean about patience. Like, it takes a while, and awareness is just like a weird, trivial thing. Like, you can reach significant scale to where you're running a multi-million-dollar company and only a few million people know about you. There's 300 million people in this country, right? And there's, a certain percentage of them that smoke cannabis. In my case, there's a certain percentage of them that smoke out of a bong. And just not getting ahead of yourself, setting expectations that are consistent with, like, when you work for Pepsi or American Express, like, always keeping that in perspective and knowing that a lot of it is attributed to personal growth, as painful as growth can be.
the entire time you were just talking, I was trying to not give you the finger because every single thing you said just makes me want to say fuck you to you because it's so true and annoying. Like, it's like patience. I want someone to tell me, and we all feel this way. And that's kind of like, I made a reel about this today. It's like, you want to just be like, hey, like, I've got this great business idea and cannabis is hot. And like, okay. And now even people like Kristen, who have learned the hard way and taught everyone how not to do it the hard way, still has to make a brand for herself on social media in order to build her personal business and wealth. And that's, that's what we're talking about today. It's like, and that's the hardest fucking part about it, is like having to put yourself out there. So I don't know. I'd love to hear your biggest lesson, Kristen, and anything you want to say about that. And also, Jessi, could you make sure that you're on mute when you're not talking, because we're hearing a ding from you.
Stop dinging, bro. It's too many dings in life.
I'm getting blown up over here.
They're not dings for me. So, anyways,
Everyone's saying how hot you look, Kristen, and asking for your number. I'm serious.
I mean, I'm single.
Are you?
But, like, legit, let me just tell you this right now. Like, you have to be a fucking man, because, like, I just intimidate all these guys, and it's a waste of my time, and time is money. So, like, fuck you, pay me. I'm just kidding. I'm not that jaded. No, I am not jaded. Do you live in LA? Because if not, don't waste my time. Continuing. What was the question? What was the point? You know what? Like, I'm trying Hinge and shit. I'm trying dating apps, but like, if you're not in the weed industry, then you cannot appreciate what a fucking G I am. And if I am not appreciated as the G that I am, then you cannot, like, I don't want it, bro. Like, I will not be taken for granted. You know what I'm saying? So, like, anyways.
That could follow the guy that's going to be.
That's a solid logic.
Very confident.
Okay. So what you were saying, Lauren, was like, I had to create a brand to get paid. Honestly, what I needed to do to get paid was fucking lie to people and feed their delusions for hours and hours on a retainer. And I can't lie. I can't lie in relationships. Like, I can't lie ever. And it leaves you a single cat lady, people. And it does not make you money. I'm blown away that, like, all I needed to do was put my Kristenism's wittiness on teas, and that fucking makes money. But, like, I get it, because a tea is not a woman, and women are not respected in this fucking industry. And I'm tired of, like, you know what? Like, I might sound like a 12-year-old, but if you see me in person, I'm not a fucking 12-year-old. And I'm, like, done. Like, I'm done with the bullshit, bro. And the reason people vibe with my brand is because my brand is done with the bullshit, too. Like, I find that, like, I'm in this situation where I kind of created a company on accident, and now it's like, what I'm going to be doing on High Curious next month is, like, a vlog, Cynical Stoner, that is, like, my entrepreneurial journey. Because it's like, you see these pundits on the news, and it's easy to criticize from, like, a totally outside place, to sit above people and be like, no. Like, I get that. And I've done that for years. And it's actually fucking depressing doing my cannabis detector. Like, that's a service project, bro. That's not a profit project. That was me, like, trying to fucking warn people that, like, dude, pay attention. Like, don't come into this as a naive person, or you will be taken advantage of. Like, that's what that was. Like, my t-shirts is fun, because really I'm just a potty-mouthed person with, like, crazy ethics, and it's made me poor. So, but this time, now I have a company that, like, I want to prove that I'm not just cynical. I fucking know what I'm talking about. And you don't have to be a tyrannical, like, authoritarianism, wealthy fucking dickhead who treats everyone like they're second or not important. Like, to me, anyone I work with, they know their place. I fucking value them, you know? I mean, I'm like so obsessed right now with the Kellogg strike and all these dope millennial hackers fucking up their system for applications. And then all of these scabs who are like going in and getting jobs and then fucking Kellogg's from the inside. Like, it is the dopest thing I've ever seen, and it gives me hope because, I mean, bro, like everyone says the weed industry is so young, but we're getting abused from the start. Like, the exploitation is deep already. Like, I want to see fucking equity for real, not just like equity, you know what I'm saying? And I don't see that. And so, you know, I don't see that happening because we're just all like on fucking Charles Koch's dick or whatever in this industry, which is really disgusting. And like, what is going on with all of you people? Like, hello, wake up. But anyways, I'm just going to talk shit and educate with my t-shirts. And I hope that people wearing my t-shirts fucking wakes people up. Cause like, I don't even know, dude. Anyways. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So we didn't get your biggest mistake or lesson, but we're going to move on because.
Oh, my mistake is do not ask Facebook to review your account when they keep auto restricting it and then unrestricting it, because then they will permanently restrict you for getting too many restrictions. Biggest mistake. Don't do that.
Thank you, Kristen. All right.
Dime.
My turn? Oh, man. All right. So I will keep this short. I've got a pair of mistakes. So mistake number one is pretty simple. I did not trust in my abilities as an entrepreneur, and I took contract jobs for the consistent income, and it actually cost me a shit ton of money. So that was number one. And then I guess I would say number two is taking a position that didn't work with my brand to actually develop money. So like being the contrarian to be the contrarian doesn't always work. And obviously I am a contrarian. Like Kristen and I did the podcast together, like we share values and opinions. But sometimes I think I took that too far, and it has been a little bit of a road back. Despite growing a brand, it isolated a consumer chunk that was not one I intended to isolate.
Thank you so much that's a great answer. And that's such a really, really relatable. You know, it's like, I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day, you know, where should my direction go? I'd love to talk about like how annoying corporate cannabis is and how I'm definitely crapped over corporate, but like, I don't really want anyone to hate me. You know, I'm not on that. So that's one of the things Justin and I were talking about the other day is about, you know,
is it 11:58 p.m. on an Instagram DM?
Yeah, exactly. About like, yeah, like having sell out, and that's line, you know, because I got into this for a lot of reasons, and money is definitely a part of it. So I don't want to, like, it's not like Kristen said, it's not a service business. But you know, unfortunately, the people who have the money who are driving the industry are not the people that you can piss off.
So something I actually had this epiphany while standing on top of an art car at the after party at Emerald Cup, right? So like obviously like the best possible place to have a life epiphany, like let's smoke some Humboldt weed on top of an art car in a parking lot of some.
That wasn't an epiphany, man.
Right? Yeah, like
the universe. That was their voice.
So something I was thinking about is that I've spent a lot of time because I'm an ex-corporate cannabis guy, right? Like I'm a recovering corporate cannabis guy, as I call it. And I've spent a lot of time teaching the legacy traditional small market people how to compete with the big guys without as much money, like guerrilla marketing techniques and personal branding and, you know, the social media being the great equalizer. And something I realized while standing on top of that art cart at Emerald Cup was that the same equation could be applied in reverse, right? Like as much as we can teach marketing and how, like social media and things like that to the small guys, it is also possible to teach ethics to the big guys. Maybe. I'm not convinced of it yet. I'm not there yet. Like obviously that is a tall order. But
that is so cute.
So like, well, here's an example, and I'm not going to name a name, but maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I had a C-suite member of one of the largest MSOs in the country reach out, and he was like, "Hey, did you know that we talk about your shit talking of us every day? Like this is a regular meeting." And he's like, "I know you probably don't want to hear anything I have to say. I'm probably a member of the dark side. Like, you know, you don't want to talk to me, but we're trying." And I can't really say what they're actually about to do, but I know what they're about to do, and Kristen knows how hard this is for me to say, but they're about to put their money where their mouth is in a very real way. That's not some BS USCC thing. It's not MPP. It's not normal. It's not national.
Like, fuck yeah.
So,
like then hell yeah. That's what we all wish. Like we all want, you know, like we all want like the troll to come out from underneath the bridge and be like, I was actually a good guy all along.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I motherfucking see it. All right, like
it's coming. But my point with all of that is that I started building a personal brand with the intention of pissing people off, and I have slowly morphed that personal brand into something that educates the people I used to piss off. And for better or worse, it might work, it might not. But it has been beneficial to me in terms of the doors that are now open to a conversation were otherwise not open before.
Yeah, that's super cool.
You could never have gotten there if you didn't kind of make a bold statement. I mean, let's just be honest. Would you have just crossed 20,000 on LinkedIn if you were like just sitting over there just being like, you know, quiet? No. So great job.
Bridging the gap.
And you've always said you were going to.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty obvious when you look at it.
I think the thing about a lot of these big MSOs is that they're mostly startups, and you definitely have these crazy people at the top that are really interested in running it. Like I used to work for a consumer packaged goods company that I won't name, but I know like the amount of like raw material they would order in a year, like chicken, bone meal, crazy crap, right? Like there are people in this industry that are thinking about that level, but they're directors of marketing. There's people in that are like actually do have great intentions, and they actually do, they almost kind of hate themselves a little bit because they know that at the end of the day, corporate cannabis is advocating against things like home grow, or they're so it's definitely a difficult thing. I think the people at the very top, it's going to be very hard to get anybody to change efficiency and kind of what makes money in America. But there's definitely good people in all the companies, right? Just because they work for one of the top 5 doesn't mean that they're not, that they may not have the best intentions. It's, unfortunately, sometimes it's their employer.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to survive, and it's not their fault, right? And something that I've learned from that message is something we talk about in the sales world all the time, and that's building an internal champion. If you can reach the directors, if you can reach the managers, if you can reach the vice presidents, eventually that's how you do what Kristen was just talking about with Kellogg. Because it's not the little guys rising up, right? It's the medium guys. It's the bigger fish in the pond that are also joining them that actually affect change, right? Like the hierarchy of the business changes from the middle out, not from the bottom up or the top down. And eventually, if you can get that message to that middle ground backbone of the company management, things could change. Does it change where they spend their lobbying dollars? Probably fucking not. Does it change how dirty they want to be or how they don't realize they're doing unethical things at the very tip top? Maybe not, but it might eventually if you can hold them accountable from the middle or the bottom.
Oh, bless you. That's cute.
I know. I'm so hopeful.
Oh, cute. Good for you.
Well, there will be some that do it better
to-
than others, you know.
Yeah, someone
and there's
has
gonna be
to
some that are horrible.
Yeah.
I've worked with a lot of MSOs in my day, and you know, I have 4 children. I have to pay the bills, and they do rely on a lot of our strengths to move the needle for their brands. And a lot of the people that I know who work with these brands also try to do a lot of advocacy at the same time in education inside of the circles. And I like to think that the industry is greatly turning, where there's more and more advocates inside of these larger MSOs. And sure, the people at the top really don't care about cannabis, but what I love about MSOs is that they have so much money and they can support industry initiatives in a way like other people can't. And so I kind of use and weave those MSO brands to elevate some of my mid brands, honestly, and a lot of our marketing and collaborative systems inside of Loving the Plant to kind of lift up those mids that don't have the capital and utilize some of that extra capital from some of the MSOs in collaboration to hopefully move the needle a little bit for the little guys. But that's just me. That's just me. I don't know. I ran cannabis staff for so long, and I headhunted a lot of the MSO positions for like operations managers and HR. And that was how I got to know that these people aren't really evil. They just work for evil companies at times. And, you can't hate the company entirely. You have to see that there's people inside. To everyone else's point, not all MSOs are bad. They're just lost.
Yeah. So I agree. And I think it all really comes down to consumers holding companies accountable. And unfortunately, we're not there yet in cannabis. Like, for example, if you're PepsiCo or you're American Express or you're Kellogg's, you have the general population's scrutiny on you all the time. And we're used to holding them accountable. Like, Kylie Jenner does an ad for PepsiCo that is like, and everybody loses their shit. I mean, right? Agency thinks at that moment, who had to handle and clean that shit up. So like, as a company are trying, you're not just trying anymore to look good. You're trying to do good. Because
right.
People are actually seeing through the trying. And I think I don't know what Brett was talking about, but I have been following what GTI has been trying to do. And I do think that they are definitely have initiatives that seem like they're doing great things, but the lobbying side just feels so yucky and dirty that it's just like, well, you can't, like, it's like literally talking out of both sides of your mouth. So anyway, I think we could probably talk about this all day, but I want to hear Justin and Jessi's mistakes. And then I want to move into our topic number 2, because it's already 6 o'clock and that'll be enough. We'll be done. But we'll just do topic number 2, but come back for next month when we are going to do more topics.
Down.
Justin, you want to go? You went. Your biggest mistake. Jessi.
Oh, did Justin go? Okay.
Yeah.
He did. He went at the beginning. He taught. Yes, he said 2021 was a great year, but he did get into it.
He did go.
I think the way the Brett put it was really good. Like, there's definitely a lot of good stuff, and ultimately, maybe I probably took on some certain roles that, I could have had more earning potential had I gone other directions. But that's about, it's good to have opportunity, and so 2021, I can't complain too much about. And we got to get out and have fun with our friends again,
Yeah.
Yes.
Also,
Sorry, go ahead.
to the chat people, if you definitely stay after we talk about topic number 2, we're going to definitely answer any questions that we didn't answer already, because I see, thank you, Lauren Fisher, so excited about your big questions, and I cannot wait to read. Oh my God, it's so exciting. This is some shit, you guys. Thanks for being here. This is the most fun, dynamic chat conversation we've had. So thank you guys. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. All right, Jessi.
All right. So 2021 was really a wild card year for me, Lauren. I actually believe for me, I do a lot of meditation and focus, like especially when things aren't going right, and I try to figure out exactly where the problem is, and then I solve my problem. And I found that consistency really is my number one issue. So this year I'm doing a lot more omnichannel focus and in-store demonstrations with intentional education, and focusing less on how many brands I'm representing and more traction and digital interactions for the brands in my portfolio.
Well, I can't wait to work with you on that, because as you can see, there's some great broadcast capabilities here to take what you're doing in store and really bring it to people who want to learn. So I can't wait to talk more about that with you.
Yes, and delivery apps will be perfect.
Yeah,
Get these consumers deliveries at home, because some people don't want to go to a dispensary and be a part of all of that. Kristen.
I don't. At this point, I don't want to go to a dispensary ever. I just want to learn about brands online, and then I want to have them brought over to my house. That's how I want. Just like my groceries.
Okay, but what, you might find this weird, but like, I don't give a fuck about the brands. I just need something I can afford with the taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like, I don't care, bro. Just don't poison me, I guess. But like, even then, I'm in LA. We've always had dirty weed. Like, what's new, right? But like, yeah, I wish I had the money to care about the weed I bought. You know what I'm saying?
You just got to figure out how to get more free weed.
Dude, I am so bad at getting free shit. Like,
well, because you like to be cynical. Maybe you got to put it out there. Put it out in the universe. Hey, everybody!
To get free weed.
Kristen would love your free weed. She might change her opinion about your company.
If it's good enough, like, it's worth it. And if you're scared to give it to me, then don't. You know.
Every brand honestly should want. I think that any brand with balls would send anything that they really believe in to Kristen, because she will tell you the God's honest truth about it, and that's why
I'd love to find good brands. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I'd love the opportunity to find positive things in life and bring that to people. You know, like, that's what I'm working on, dude. Like,
whoever's got the fire, send it to Kristen, because she wants to promote it if it's good. If it's shitty, promote that too.
For real, bro. For real.
I like that.
It's like the Pepsi challenge, but it's the Kristen challenge.
That's a motherfucking challenge. Like, you really win on this challenge, you know?
And try it with the Amora vaporizer, so it's equal all the way across the board.
Okay. I'm very skeptical of them, so.
Yeah. I'm excited to try it too.
Yeah.
And then she needs some flour to go along with it. So maybe one of those MSOs that you work with can hook a girl up.
Viva has flour.
See, we make shit happen here on High Curious. All right. So my biggest mistake is going to lead us into the next question. So my biggest mistake in 2021 was trying to make our platform everything for everyone, instead of niching really down on what we are. And I thought like we were going to need to replace Instagram for some reason, which is so ridiculous. But, you know, because everyone was like complaining that they were getting shut down on Instagram, you know, and I got in this rut of like being mad at every other platform. 2022, we are really making sure that we're finding our niche in social media marketing mix, so that both brands, dispensaries, advocates, people who are entrepreneurs and just starting in the industry will want to come here, will want to build their businesses here, will want to make their premium content here, and monetize their personal brand here. But what I also realized, and this is a conversation, that I've had with Justin and many others, that you can't just be on one platform and be like, well, fuck everyone else, I'm going to build my own place. That's unfortunately not possible. So like, if you want your website to actually have clicks, you're going to need to build a complete surround sound of content across multiple platforms, which is extremely overwhelming. Which is why we're introducing our product for 2022, which is like the chance to go live like this on Hi Curious for an hour. And then we make both pre and during and post content for you so that you're driving back to your business. So that's just, quick little pitch, but that is what we're doing. So our next conversation is really about what role will all the different social media platforms play in cannabis content marketing in 2021. I think we've all learned a lot this year about building community and where and how that leads to commerce, and and that's the link that needs to be made in my mind in next year. So how are we going to do it, guys? I mean, this is like myself being like, hey, smart people, tell me how to do things in 2022. So I'd like to volunteer to start on this one.
Well, I think it's not really finding your place in the mix, but realizing your place and maximizing user interactions and engagement. And really having cross-platform sponsorship with events and campaigns, and ensuring success and evolution of all the communities. And doing that with data metrics to ensure that there aren't any missing pieces. I think that that's the one thing that is missing right now in the cannabis world for social media, and really tying together purchases with interactions and decision to use different products. I think that that really could be something that Hi Curious would be a meaningful and very intentional piece to the puzzle. And I'm super excited for 2022 to use Hi Curious and to figure out how we can link those things together. I think that that's going to be the biggest initiative for us, definitely.
That's great advice. So thank you so much for sharing that, because we can get, caught up in our own stuff. So I truly appreciate that. So that was like great advice for me. It's like, oh, thank you so much. So who else has advice for me about where Hi Curious, because I know what Jessi is saying is something that I've identified already, is that like I'm a marketer that started a cannabis tech platform. And I think at this point, my gut is that I already know my gut's fantastic. I know my vision's fantastic. I know where we're going. But it would be irresponsible for me not to bring on a tech partner, a CTO, or someone to really help me with the data-driven side of things. So that is something that I'm looking for, in the world. I don't have any money to pay that person. It would be an equity partnership, just putting that out there right now. But as you're like, oh, because yes, I'm one of those people who has the lanyards. Let's not forget where we started this conversation. So I don't know, Justin, what do you think?
For how we monetize in 2022.
Well, just what role will? I mean, how does the marketing mix work? And what's the best advice that you can give for how to maximize time, I guess, and and content, and where are you going to be spending the most of your time for your brands next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always good to give back to community, always get involved in advocacy in your local area. Those people around you are going to be your closest connections, and they're going to be people that really support you. And there's really nothing that can replace having that support system and people that truly believe in you. And you gotta nurture that a lot. You got to make sure that people understand that you're in it for the right reason. In terms of what I've gotten into and what I'm I've realized that, as media platforms they are a difficult thing to monetize and maintain control of and not make shitty, and all those things that can potentially go wrong. And, what I've learned and I've been fortunate to, have been involved in firsthand is that products make money. And, my, my approach in the new year is going to be making a lot of small bets on other people that I believe in, and hoping that I can mentor and coach and do all the things that I would do with anybody just for free anyway, in terms of just like trying to give my best advice possible. And so I think in the next year, hopefully, I don't think we're going to see legalization. I hope we see something along the lines of decrim, or states really pushing things like interstate commerce. It's going to force our government to operate a little bit differently. Hopefully that'll open up different, advertising channels too, because really the thing that we all lack is meaningful scale. And I think, I found that retail is probably the one thing that exists in this country where there is a ton of scale. Online, it's going to be something that we all got to band together and figure out a way to like leverage our collective impressions to create, real traffic. Real traffic sells shit, like it really does. And so I'm coming to the conclusion that, I'm going to continue to invest my time in just nurturing the community, but in the meantime, hopefully I can create some, and release some real meaningful products that people really love, I don't know if that was the appropriate answer, but that's what I'm doing.
Well, I loved it. And I mean, this is a product that I really love.
I'm so excited.
I really love this fucking product. Like, I'm sorry, but like I probably sell one every day of these. I mean, I have to, at least, because people have to, like, it's not a cheap, piece. It's a big decision. So, people don't just buy it on the whim. They got to come back a couple times, see it in action and stuff, so, but like, what making good products,
yeah.
And also, but building a brand, because, sometimes like the first few aren't perfect, and the first few years aren't like everything that you want it to eventually be. But like, people who are early brand adopters want in on amazing, cool things,
Yeah. Honestly, it's given me confidence to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's the important thing. I think BuzzFeed, I had that confidence too. It just goes in waves, and it goes in waves with all of these different products. Like, you have a really great month, you don't have as good of a month, you make the biggest wholesale deal of your life. You just got to constantly keep learning, because like I said, awareness is like a weird, like I was at a Christmas party, or a holiday party for a friend last night, and he has a very successful ancillary business that went viral on TikTok and was selling, like, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars worth of product, a month. And, the cool thing is that they're just like, they understand, like, that's actually just the tip of the iceberg, right? Like, if they were able to do that with one kind of viral sensation on TikTok, like, what could they do? So I think everybody, back to my earlier point, being patient and seeing it through and just trying to create meaningful stuff that you care about. Honestly, that's all you have right now in the cannabis industry.
Yeah. I mean, that's why
it doesn't have the money of the historical advertising industry.
That's why I'm sticking with my long-term vision, knowing that subscriptions will be how we will make money long-term, because people will be subscribing to premium cannabis content, and to people who they really want to work with, and know and get closer to as we grow, just like the fitness industry was. And now you see Peloton is such a mainstream brand that it was in, the Sex and the City reboot just the other night. But like 6 years ago, I was like going to I had like this crazy bike, and I was like in this crazy community, and everyone was like who are those people? So in a few years, you know, will be that. So it is about patience, and I love what you said, because like for me, I mean, I could be like, oh, should I like the takeaway is like, do you create a product? No, it's not that you have to create a product, it's that you have to create something of value for people.
Yeah, behind every overnight success is like a decade of hard work that you never saw, you know? Somebody just like literally grinding it and trying to figure it out, because you don't know what 3 million people want. Like if you can unlock that at any time, let me know, because I'll sell shit to 3 million people all day and we'll be billionaires. But like to anticipate, what's up?
It's a Murrah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're still bong. I mean, it's just getting the right mix of marketing to the right people and being able to ignite their, interaction to buy. And I think that that's really where Hi Curious and the Burner and Weed Maps app will really play in, which is connecting the dots between social media engagement and making purchases. And that has to happen, because right now we don't have that, and it's kind of disjointed. And so once that's mended, it's going to be shooting up to the top. And I could see Hi Curious playing into that very well.
You know what also is changing a lot, and I've definitely leaned in. I'd say like 70% of my marketing, I really focus on our female audience. And I think what's going to benefit like a place like Hi Curious, like it's a different, more respectful. There's been social platforms in cannabis that just like bro culture, nug shots. That's like all it is. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's important to realize like the fastest growing demographic is young women, actually willing to make purchase decisions, identify things that, that fit their lifestyle. Whereas, just historically dudes are just more utilitarian creatures that just, work like a half broken bong. As long as it still works, maybe they'll hang on to it. But yeah, no, so we've leaned into that a lot with our marketing, and also just knowing that that's the future is definitely in a growing female consumer, and that's going to dictate the success of a lot of brands. Like if you're not hitting a tone that crosses that chasm or caters to that audience, you're going to be in a smaller camp in the long run.
Jessi's over here like, oh, Mira. Like, did you see that rose gold one she was holding?
So
nice.
Yeah. Well, I was hanging out with so I think they had the House of Puff ones that I was at the event that I was at yesterday, the collab that you guys are working on. And then, Amura's been shared on BuzzFeed. I have a friend who works at one of the large MSOs who swore by it and absolutely, made sure that it got into their stores because they felt like she's, the terpene. That's what got her. She goes, it's the flavor and the fact that there's no convenient dry herb vaporizer on the market outside of the Volcano, which is not convenient.
I do love the Volcano though.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yes.
What?
Kristen says no.
Volcano makes everything taste like popcorn, and everything feels the same. Nope. Look, this is why, like, legit, if you're...
We need to know more.
Look, as cynical stoner, let me tell you, what is my marketing strategy for 2022? Every fucking strategy that works on me. Like, duh. Because I am a cynical ass bitch all the time. It's not just weed, bro. It's, like, legit everything. And so when I think about what works on me, I think, okay, all my favorite t-shirts came from Instagram. Well, I fucked that up, so never mind. And you know what's funny? Hi Curious, couldn't find it with Explore on my Cynical Stoner site because we weren't already connected because you're shadow banned. BuzzFeed, couldn't find it, bro. Like,
way.
Like, here's the point, is like, I sell fucking t-shirts, and my merchant processor almost wanted I feel like they needed like DNA and like a fetal sample or some shit to like approve me. I'm like, bro, I don't even make the shirts. They come from Printful. It's like, a multinational corporation online. Like, what the fuck? Like, look at what I'm sending you. And it took forever. So, like,
our payment processor cost me $50,000 to code in because we can't use Stripe or PayPal or any of those things. So we had to use like a separate payment processor.
PayPal stole our money.
Right. So pitch, if you want to do business on HiCurious, I have a whole bank over here.
So, and money machine. So what Lauren's talking about, like, so I asked LinkedIn because I've been utilizing LinkedIn since 2015. Since I left the edible company I was managing, I started using LinkedIn, and then I went to the lab that I loved and worked with, and I was with them for a year. But once I got out on my own, and once I embraced my cynical side and my BS detector, LinkedIn has paid with opportunities ever since. But with my brand, it's like, well, shit, I already got myself permanently restricted by forcing Facebook to fucking tell me, what am I doing wrong if you keep unrestricting me? And they're like, what you're doing wrong is getting restricted, which is stupid. So
yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, like, what's that saying, like, innovation comes from necessity or some shit like that. And one of the things I've always loved as a cannabis user and a cannabis person is stoner ingenuity. Like, seriously, when you have something to smoke, you will fucking figure out a way to do it. Like, if you don't have the tools, like, we are good like that. And all my career has been creative solutions to problem solving with like some stoner ingenuity. So the way I see 2022 is, unfortunately, I think Instagram is fucking gold mine for like sales, bro. Like, that is where all my t-shirts came from. That's where I found my favorite nail polishes and shit. However, I'm restricted. So my next thought is like, okay, influencers, right? But like, I don't like asking for help and I don't have any money. So like, you know, what am I supposed to do, right? So then I'm like, okay, I need to get creative, and I'm thinking fucking point system, right? Because my favorite nail polish company, ILNP, they do one sale a year, and that's Black Friday. That's it. And unless you hit that sale, the only way you get a discount is points through purchase, points through sharing on social media, points through leaving a review, et cetera, et cetera. And I fucking love their nail polish, dude. I'm like addicted. It's so stupid. Like, what the fuck? But I am. And the point is like, okay, well, with Cynical Stoner, dude, shipping is expensive. Like, I'm just being real. This is why next year I'm going to start like my own vlog on HiCurious that is the Cynical Stoner, and I will just tell you about like week to week my entrepreneurial fucking bullshit that I have to deal with. I don't even sell weed, bro. I don't even have inventory. Like, but I'm still treated like a weed company, so we have to get creative. So I'm thinking points. We have to like, I need to incentivize people. I want to give discounts, dude. Shipping is expensive now. Like, things are weird. So I'm just, I suggest, like, since I was 16 on Motley Fool, they said women are the best investors because we are natural consumers. So instead of spending your money at that store, buy their fucking stock, you know? And like, that hits me at this point. I'm like, I want to incentivize people and give them discounts on things by like helping me out. Like, it's like a win-win, you know, type of thing. And I think that for cannabis people, having run a dispensary, you can tell they're very easily influenced. So give them a game to play, like, give them something to interact with. It's only natural, you know?
Oh my God. So Kristen knows and Justin knows that I have an entire, and of course Amanda knows, and my team knows that I have an entire NFT built in my head. It's called Leaf. Is you get points for taking brand actions. Okay, so if you share a brand, you get leaf. Okay, if you make a post with you and a brand, you get more leaf, right? It's like, and you're able to, you don't have any money, but you're able to participate in the brand and earn points towards more cool things with the brand, including and all the way up to like events. So instead of everyone and their mother getting into whatever the Fairchild party, just make it an Omura party that like everyone who is an actual fan of the brand, who did something for the brand, gets to come. So it's not about how cool you are or how many followers you have. It's about how much have you actually invested in that brand. And so this idea is called Leaf. I've been developing it, and I'm going to be working hopefully with Kristen and Wesley McQuillan to put this together. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm really stoked about this, but it's, you can see, if you guys are going to brain rape me on this, it's fine. Let's just include me in it.
And
okay?
it is hereby copywritten.
Did you just say brain rape? Like, I'm just making sure. Like, that is even darker than me. Lauren, check yourself, girl. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you get to the point where you call shit brain rape, like, you need to go to the cliffs and like check out, bro. Like, for real. Do what I can't do, because I have a permanent resting bitch face at this point. So like, you're doing better than me. Like, keep it up. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, girl. Thanks. It's all right. I want to hear from Brett on this. Really, really curious as to Brett's take on this. And then we have so many questions that we got to get to them.
You don't want my take on this. So I'm going to go down my social media rundown in a nutshell in 2 minutes or less. Facebook is a dumpster fire and is worth exactly 0 to me. I think LinkedIn is the most valuable thing if you are selling business to business in any sense, product or service. I think Instagram is important regionally. It's bigger on the West Coast than it is the East Coast. If you're looking to work in the West Coast, you got to have an established Instagram presence. I think Instagram is a good business to consumer thing. If you're a business to business brand that's looking into media, I think it could be a good business to consumer funnel. TikTok, Snapchat, those apps, I don't personally use them. I see the power in them. I understand the idea behind them, but both of them are very anti-cannabis content if you actually get a big enough following. Clubhouse died, but I still do it occasionally because it's a bunch of people talking shit, and it's a bunch of people who like to talk, and I like to mess with people who like to talk. So I will hop on there sometimes.
Clubhouse, like, just fuck with people.
Yeah, I do. I literally, like, I get kicked out of every other Clubhouse room I'm in because I just wait to say something real fucked up, and then I like ambush the people who are talking out their ass.
So do I. Oh my God, how have we not crossed paths?
I don't know. Let's do it. Like, we should double team them, like Batman and Robin, except I'm Robin.
And then Kristen can come in and be like, "Slam dunk, you suck."
Yeah, we could triple team it. They won't know what's hit them.
Hey man, if you're good, you don't suck. I mean, it's on you,
I can go
not
in there
me.
and just listen.
So that's my social media rundown in a nutshell. I think that.
So the one.
Actually, let me hit on 3 others.
YouTube.
So I think the Burner Beat Maps social media app is just a data collection play, and I don't think it's actually necessary. I don't understand the purpose of it, and I think I kind of put that in the same category as most of the other existing cannabis-specific social media apps, where they're just generating data and they've rebuilt the exact same thing we already have in another format. I think the thing that makes Hi-Curious unique is that it can be used as a monetization tool similar to Patreon or something like that. And we really don't have that. And there is enough need for a monetized controlled network now, because we're kind of in that phase of like influencer and affiliate marketing matters in cannabis. And I think this is a place that could actually happen where we're not running the risks of other things. So yeah, that's basically it. You got to know your niche before you pick your social media, but I agree that a multi-channel approach is probably best. And to answer the time-saving question, repurpose your fucking content. Post the same thing on each one with mild variations and do them a couple days apart. plan out your content a week ahead of time and post what you posted on LinkedIn Monday, on Instagram on Wednesday, and then post it to whatever your other channel is on Friday, and bounce them around every week with a set of content, and nobody's going to pick up on it. And even if they do, who gives a shit? Because they're getting inundated with your brand, and if you change it up a little bit for the format, it's not going to be totally the same. So all they're going to see is brand consistency across the board. You're golden.
Yep.
It's pretty selfish to think that they would.
Brett. It's so hard though. Like it's so. Oh, you're like asking us to listen to ourselves and like edit things. Like what? No,
I hate that.
I don't want to do that, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
It is
That's
really funny.
Well,
Let
that's
me
where
say,
High Curious can.
that's what
where High
fucking
Curious
Lauren
comes
is.
in.
Exactly. Yeah, that's like, look, I feel like the talent should not have to be the biz dev person. This is such bullshit. Like, excuse me, Britney Spears is not the one out there like pimping her tour to fucking people. That is her business people. Like, I want business people, and that is why. And like, legit, this is not sponsored because you literally couldn't pay me to sponsor shit anyways. Is like, I talked to Lauren, like, this is what High Curious is gonna do. Like, next year, I vlog and they make it into content. Like, I need that. I think a lot of cannabis creators need that because making it into content sucks. Like, I'm the fucking talent. Why am I supposed to learn how to video edit? Like, I fucking hate that stuff so much that, like, I'm not even good at keeping up with my own podcast from 3 years now. Like, I suck at it because of the like monotony bullshit. And I see on LinkedIn, there's a lot of creative people out there who want to make podcasts and other things that don't even know like how much boring stuff is involved to make it successful. And I feel like High Curious is like your people who will make it successful. They will cut it into things and do stuff with it that I don't even, like, if I have to listen myself, I am literally not editing that shit because I don't want to, dude. Can someone else do it, you know? So I appreciate Lauren, all of the struggles you've been through. I know that last year I was hella depressed by reality. Hello, people. But anyways, that's another conversation. And I saw that Lauren was building like a positive network. And as a cynical stoner, I'm like, positivity, I don't need that, bro. But like, actually, like, as humans, biologically, like, we need positivity in our lives, right? And I feel like, you know, even if a cynical stoner can find value in having High Curious make their content for them, then fucking anyone can, dude, because we are the worst to work with, I think.
I do feel like if I've gotten you, like, I win. So
right?
Yeah,
dude, look,
I
am not just a consumer. I am a fucking conscious consumer. I make purchases with like mad conviction. Like, look, I order things from Amazon and I'm about to cancel my account because I'm disgusted with them. But every purchase I make is like conscious. Every company I work with is conscious, and I'm mad guilty for using Amazon and other things because I'm lazy. But what I'm saying is whoever I use, like, that fucking means something, you know, minus Amazon and other stuff. Brett.
I'm reading the comments to make sure that all right, so did we answered all Lauren's lots of questions. I'm so excited. This is amazing. I want to meet you, Lauren Fisher.
Yeah,
all right. The big guys are newly interested in ethical culture shift. It's encouraging. COVID has emphasized this need for big companies because of the mental health effects on their employees. Ethical work practices we are really seeing coming up.
Where can you just give me a source? Where are you seeing these? Because that is not what I'm hearing. That is not what I'm hoping. I would love for these companies to like have like a conscience, but they never fucking had one. Because if you had one, you wouldn't go public, because going public is for profit for your shareholders. So like, look, I want to appreciate MSOs so far as they are going to dominate the industry. This is a fact. I want to see them put their fucking money where their mouth is. And like, I want to see it, dude. I'll support any company that supports the Prisoner Project. Like, not the last Prisoner Project. Take it on yourself. Like, I would love to see that. But all I'm hearing is CSR bullshit. Like, they make so much money, dude. Like, what are you actually doing? Because that would be really dope if that actually happens, you know? I want that.
Yeah. So actually, June Blanken actually works in corporate cannabis. I actually know where she works, but I'm not going to out it. And she says that company makes promises that never seem to be delivered on. But that's who I work for at this point. Got to pay the bills, and there ain't no shame in that. Okay, like if you need a steady paycheck.
Nah, I don't hate employees. Every person I've worked for, except for Jeffrey Raber at the workshop, was a fucking asshole sociopath. I got mad love for employees, but fuck the leadership. Fuck them. And I feel bad when good people lose their jobs, but welcome to the motherfucking weed industry. Like, this is how we separate, like, the people who care and the people who don't. Like, if you thought it would be easier or you'd make more money, then all you need to do is work for an MSO and then get used up, spit out with less money than you made. And if you decide to continue, we fucking support you. But I think there's a lot of people that think it's a lot funner than it is. And I just wish that companies paid people what they were worth, because I think a lot of people bring so much value to these companies and they end up like me. And you do not want to end up like me. You know what I'm saying?
What? You have an amazing clothing brand that is completely positioned to kill it, Kristen.
Bro, let me be fucking real with everyone. I filed bankruptcy last year. And let me tell you right now, I can file 3 more times and be motherfucking president. So A, I have zero guilt. And second of all, it's like part of the American entrepreneurial journey. So until you go bankrupt, like, are you really an entrepreneur? I'm not really sure. Because, like, this is what we do. We go bankrupt. Because you know what? I don't fucking owe these people. Like, fuck them. And you know what? I'm doing great now.
Okay, Brett has to go, but he's going to leave his camera so we don't get fucked up. Thank you so much, Brett. Appreciate you so much.
Bye, Brett.
We can see him on his camera still, but you guys on the other side, they can't. So it looks good. All right, so we just have a couple more things, and I think we should just go for 5 more minutes and stop at 6:45 and be done. It's been a long time, so thank you guys for your time. So Lauren Fisher said, Lauren, you mentioned equity partnerships for growth of your app and ideas. Would you or have you already considered pitching your product or services to a larger company that would offer you a capital investment in exchange for equity ownership? It's funny you should ask. Yes, absolutely. This is something that I'm thinking about. I have been thinking about since this summer. And I have a lot of thoughts about it. One is I'm really excited about what we're doing and what my focus is. So it would have to be really the right partner that I could bring along my team and then supplement my team with amazing tech partners that are going to help us just catapult to the next level. So yeah, if it's the right partner, for sure. But it also has to be somebody whose brand and vision I believe in, and then I know that they believe in my vision. And if it's an all dude company, and they better get me a seat on the board.
Amen.
How is that, Lauren Fisher? The sense of a safe professional community within the cannabis industry is a massive market niche that I agree has much potential for revenue. That's this place. This is a place. I think we can all agree that Instagram is a place. It's a little bit like high school, but we go there because we kind of have to. This is a place where I want people to want to come and spend their time.
Yes.
And let's see. Amira is the best high off flower I've had in a long time. Justin, have you worked with companies or brands that are not only creating ethical product, but also involved in advocacy and policy change effort? Do you find there are companies looking to branch more into those efforts, but don't have the resources to put out ethical product and advocacy and organizationing? Good word.
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, as chill, we did a big thing during Pride for LGBTQ. There's a house in Colorado that basically um, welcomes in people who maybe have been abandoned by their family for the decisions they didn't make the way that they were born, right? And so we personally invest a lot of energy there. We're working with a brand called Hemp Mellow right now, who puts a lot of time and energy into he's actually been friends with Steve D'Angelo for years, so into the Last Prisoner Project, but they're also major hemp advocates, contributors to things like the Farm Bill. Like a lot of the language in the Farm Bill is stuff that these people have written. So our whole thing is finding entrepreneurs, and it's funny because I have a business background, but I judge people based on like a character score. It's hard to see somebody's vision and say, oh yeah, that could be $1 million company or not. It's like there's a lot of things that could happen, but if you trust that they're going to try their hardest to make their business work and they're going to be good people, then that might be a good person to go into a relationship with. So I definitely think the quality of the individual is as important as the size of their business idea, whether it's social equity in the form of racial justice, supporting the LGBTQ community, supporting women in business, anybody that really needs an opportunity, right? And I quickly suss that stuff out faster than anything, from a business perspective, in terms of the people that I work with. Like, are they quality people? Do they care?
Will they text you at 11:58?
Well, it's like that. No, but it's just
not like that.
No, it's more about, it's like, man, there's a lot of people, myself included, that, to think it's like, oh yeah, I could do something in the cannabis industry and we could make tons of money and this will be the way it. No, you gotta be in it, and you gotta be in it for the right reasons. And that's the key to long-term success, unless you have, 100 mil in the bank.
The real money to be made in the cannabis industry is not now. So you have to play the long game, because you cannot, but you have to get ready for when it comes. And that's one of the things that Justin and I talk about, all the time, is just making sure that we're in the right position to help people. I built as a way to help people and brands and companies actually succeed in cannabis when legalization happens.
I don't know if people realize this. It has, some of the smaller MSOs, it's the same thing too. Some of the CEOs are making some big money, but we're talking about, like, you see these stories like, take on an $80 million credit facility and at 8%. Like, these guys are making some really big bets, incurring some really large debt. It's structured in a way that no individuals can get really hurt. But to think that everybody's making a ton of money, definitely not the case. It's still very immature.
Like, I would like to speak to the fact I was on, I don't invest in the stock market because that just stresses me out, and B, I don't have any money. But C, I will, but D, I'm not. So anyways, I was on Seeking Alpha Cannabis Investing podcast, and I swear, every time I'm on a podcast, all the cannabis people love me. They're like, holy shit, finally someone's saying what I'm going through. Like, I don't feel crazy, but on this fucking site full of capitalists, investors, etc., bro, I've never been hated on so hard by people than fucking investors, because they were hating on me for my ethics. And the fact that
you're the opposition.
I'm so black and white that good luck selling t-shirts is essentially what I got from them. And the fact is there are some things to me that are fucking black and white. And that is, are you treating your people well, or are you a piece of shit? Because with my company, I will hope that when I expand, I pay people well for what they're fucking worth because they bring value. Like, I need people, dude. Like, I brought value to companies and I was not paid what I was worth. I want to bring value to people that are worth it. And like, capitalism doesn't appreciate that. Investors don't appreciate my black and white vision. But like, when it comes to Amazon, I mean, fuck, they're the worst, bro. Like, now they've killed 6 people in a tornado, but they also just destroy people all the time with their jobs. And I want to be a part of, like, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I want to be a part of good change, right? And so I want to do that. Like, I don't want to work with anyone until I can pay them for it, because people are worth money. Their time is worth money. And I think that's the biggest struggle with good people in cannabis is like, we don't have that investment because we aren't good bullshitters, nor do we want these investors in our shit in the first place. How do we like bring each other value when we're like trying to fucking make it on our own, you know? Like, that's a big issue.
Truthfully, value is the currency of social media. What we're talking about, it's sharing for each other. It's like the cross pollination. It's like, you tag me, I tag you, you share my shit, I share your shit. You know, it's like, it's literally like, I have you on my show, you have me on your show. That's how we do it, because otherwise we're never gonna, as Justin said, our networks are all just too little to just try to do it on our own, because we just can't do it on our own.
Especially with shadow bans. So at this point, I've recognized that I think I fucking need some investment, bro, because I'm reaching a point where I have to pay for fulfillment, shipping, and product before I even get my fucking payment for the sales. And that's like really like unfortunate, dude, because like I don't have that money already. So
yeah,
the way I see it is working with other people, working with influencer marketing. But aren't there influencers out there that just fucking vibe on your project and want to help you because they vibe on your project? Because like, I know personally that a lot of influencers on Instagram want to be paid, and I want to pay people, bro. Like, I want to be a brand that pays people for what they're worth, but I don't have any fucking money.
But they also actually do want your t-shirts, because your t-shirts are funny. So it's like, even if you can't put it on a t-shirt, put it on a sticker and send it to them, you know, and they will fucking slap it somewhere and take a picture of it for you. And that's enough. Like that, you know what I mean? Just put it in a fucking Christmas card, you know, or New Year's card.
Yeah, people need to recognize who are their people in the weed industry that they can hit up. Because, like, bro, I've been banking goodwill for motherfucking years. Like, I don't ask for favors. Like, I'm not one of those people because I need to get paid. Like, I understand the struggle. But at
That's
this
the good
how
news,
much did you pay for those? How much did you pay for those, Justin?
These, yeah, I was gonna say I sent these out. I paid like $2. I had some friends down in Puerto Rico have a 3D printing operation make these. I sent them to like 40 people, and I got like 25 videos back of people just like, you know, it's a little roach clip, right, with my little guy on it.
I love it. That's great. Yeah,
and it's branding, you know.
Well, and your t-shirts are the same way. It's like, oh, this is cool. Like, you know, like. A lot of people are in the same position as you. It's like, I can't go buy 3 of her t-shirts, but if she gave me one, I'd certainly rock it online, you know?
Right. So at the same time, like,
you might need an investment. You might not, though. Like, I have another idea for you too.
Look,
I literally saw Justin's like brain working, and I was like, something's gonna happen between Justin.
Yeah,
and
all you
Kristen.
gotta do, honestly, here's the idea. Go make a separate t-shirt website, a very cheap one with all sorts of weird other like t-shirts, and then have a bunch of your t-shirts, and then just make those link through to your website to actually buy them, and all the other ones are just out of stock, and then you advertise that on Facebook.
We should talk offline because I'm confused.
You should create another T-shirt website that's not about weed T-shirts, and it says nothing about cannabis at all. And then you use
so
that
then
website.
I have to have another domain, is what you're saying?
That's like
Yeah, I don't have that.
3 hours though. You know what I'm saying?
I need that too.
Let's
for
talk.
my book. So let's have this conversation as maybe this is a follow-up for what we're going to learn about next week. All right. There's one last thing. We're wrapping it up. But Lauren Fisher, who says she has lots of great connections. I'm super excited to meet you. She sounds awesome. Thank you for being here tonight. Perceived negatives within business practices would put off investors and most. It sounds like you have the same intentions and goals in these investors, but negativity is hard to sell realistically. Honest, raw authenticity seems to be what you market yourself as, which is beautiful and good. But securing solid investors partnerships will be much more difficult without positivity in there.
Amen.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna die alone.
Everybody, I think this is a perfect note to end it on. We always love to leave it on a high note at High Curious. So thank you guys. Shout out to everyone. Jessi, great to meet you tonight. Justin, amazing. If you guys want to hang out before just until we finish up, but we'll push off live in just a second. Everyone who joined in the comments, this was super fucking fun. I had the best time. It went so fast. We talked about so much. There's so much more to talk about. So I hope we can make this like a thing. I mean, it is a thing for me. I go live every day at 4:30 on High Curious, and I do a show called Curious Business every Wednesday at 4:30, and I would love to have you guys on as one-on-one guests so we can have a deeper conversation. And I'd love to maybe have like one of these a quarter where we just like invite different guests and we just like talk about topics in marketing and stuff, or whatever in cannabis. All right, cool. So this was fab. All right, Amanda, do you want to push us off? Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all. Here's my useless hand thingy.
Well, I have a glove now. You guys are probably all like, why are you wearing